Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Child of God, written by Cormac McCarthy. Now, before I go into the summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. This book. I need to recline. I need to recline because this book is horrific. I need some time because literally I just finished reading this book and I need some time to talk about it because oh my God. Oh my God. This is the most dark, this is a very dark book. Okay. Let's talk about this. Cuz I need okay. Child of God by Cormac McCarthy it's disturbing. I mean, this is a disturbing book. It's very disturbing. The main character of this book is Lester Ballard, right? This book is set in Tennessee, pretty much in hill country. And we meet Lester Ballard at the beginning of the novel. He seems innocent, he seems innocent, he seems harmless. He seems like, this uneducated. He's not going anywhere, no money, like he doesn't have any money, doesn't have wealth. The land that he lives on is not his own. His house is not his own. He has nothing. He owns nothing. He works for nothing. I mean, he feeds himself by hunting squirrels and and animals in the wild. He roams the hillsides, the countryside, the woods. He doesn't have a job. He owes money to stores. He's like a nobody. He's out of society. No one likes him. Kids hate him. Adults hate him. The sheriff just wants to put him in prison, but he can never do so. Even though he has like a long rap sheets of things that he's done. He gets accused of rape, but he doesn't get charged or he doesn't go away for it. Lester Ballard is just this monster. Oh my God. Like, I mean, when I first started reading this book, I was like, all right, this is a cool book. This is interesting. I mean, this is just a guy who's down on his luck. He doesn't have any money. And maybe like, how every other book just, makes everybody rich and happily ever after. Maybe this was going to be one of those stories, right? No. Child of God. Oh my God. So pretty much what happens is, at the beginning of the novel, Ballard is just doing nothing, and he's living in his old house, doesn't have any money, nothing. He's not doing anything, and then he's walking around with his gun. He sleeps with his gun. That's pretty much his property, his gun, right? Then the book just turns right around, and Lester, after he gets accused of rape, he gets released from jail. He just becomes this monster. And he stumbles upon, while he's like walking in the wilderness, he stumbles upon this car. He sees a bunch of dead bodies, like they're all like pretty much naked. And he goes into this car. He sees this couple that are dead, and they're in the act of having sex or about to. And pretty much what Lester Ballard does is, instead of calling 911 when he sees all these dead bodies, he pulls the man off of the woman in the car, and then he has sex with the dead body. This is like a teenage girl, a girl that could, not even a teenager probably. This is like a young girl that's she's dead, but he sleeps with the body. He takes their money. He takes this bottle of alcohol. He takes their money. He sleeps with the dead body of the girl in the car. Then he starts to walk, and then he does this a bunch of times where he walks away, then comes back to the crime scene. he messes with the bodies, and then he takes the body of the girl, right? He takes the body of the dead teenage girl. I'm assuming she's a teenage girl. And he goes home with the dead body. He goes home with the dead body. He goes to a store, has a woman help him out, pick up a red dress, and accessories. Then he buys it with the dead girl's money. So he buys clothes for the dead girl with the dead girl's money, goes back home to this place that he doesn't own, that he's pretty much just living on this land, dresses the dead body up, goes outside, and he's looking at the dead body through the window and thinking that the dead body wants him. Oh my god. He does and what ends up happening, right? He's doing all this, sleeping with the dead body, dressing it up, hiding it in the attic when he's not sleeping with it, bringing it back down with a set of ropes, sleeping with it, then putting it back here. So he's using his dead body as his toy. His house ends up burning, and then he cries because the body, which is pretty much, it starts to not rot because it's cold where he is, the snow is falling and all of that. So the body doesn't rot, but while he's touching the body and moving the body around, he can feel the bones loose and the skin loose and the body just decaying. The house burns down, the body burns down, and then he's homeless, so he just grabs his gun. He lives in a cave, and he just becomes a monster that lives in a cave, and he goes around the countryside killing these couples. So, couples are in their cars, they're with their lovers. Sometimes he just finds them and kills the man or the boyfriend or the fiance, and just kills the wife or the woman, and just takes these young girls, not wife, but girlfriends and things like that. He kills the girls, take their dead bodies, he hides them in the cave, or sometimes he doesn't, he just starts sleeping with them or having sex with them, start touching the dead bodies. He doesn't want them alive. So he becomes a serial killer, killing these teenage girls, killing their boyfriends, taking their money, taking stuff left and right, taking them back to the cave, dressing them up, sleeping with them. And it just becomes a mess. It becomes a mess. Like, oh my god. Wow. This book, Cormac McCarthy is a great writer. This book didn't make him a lot of money, but it is grueling. It is something to read, but it is grueling because of the savagery, the violent, the murders, the inhuman. Like, he's inhuman. He's not human. There's no remorse. He wants to kill people. Anybody who crosses him, he wants to kill them. He's walking around the woods with his gun. He's killing girls left and right. He's killing their boyfriends, taking their dead bodies, sleeping with them. By the end of the book, he gets caught somewhat. A bunch of people in the town or in society that hate him, they wanted to find the dead bodies. He leads them back to the cave that he's hiding in. He pretty much makes them, he loses them. He goes out in this cave, and they trust him. They trusted him to show them where the dead bodies of the girls were, and he pretty much leads them into the cave and makes sure that they get lost. He pretty much almost dies in the cave because he doesn't know the labyrinth of the cave that well, but he ends up making it out of the cave. He escapes, and then he ends up in the hospital because he didn't eat for 5 days while he was in the cave, getting the people lost, not showing them the girls. He loses the girls himself because he doesn't know where the dead bodies are, because they were just hidden in the cave. And then Lester Ballard, he ends up not getting charged for anything. He doesn't get charged for the murders. He doesn't get charged for the rapes. He doesn't get charged for sleeping with a dead body. He doesn't get charged for anything. He ends up at the hospital. He ends up being admitted to pretty much an insane asylum or a hospital where they treat people who've committed heinous crimes. he gets celled next to a guy that ate brains and killed people and ate their brains with a spoon. Like, I don't. This book would just like, you have to read it slowly. Because there's no quotation marks, there's no quotations when people are speaking. So if you're a fast reader, read this slowly to really understand what's going on. By the end of it, he ends up dying. He doesn't get charged for anything. He doesn't go to prison. He ends up dying, and medical students, lab students, they study his body. They study his body. They rip out everything out. They study his brain and everything by the end of the book, and then they throw him in a bag, scrape him off the table that they were studying his body on or his mind on, and then buried it. I mean, the slabs of meat and bone that was left of Lester Ballard. And that's pretty much the end of the book. They end up finding the dead bodies by the end. This farmer, well, he was plowing. He ends up there's a hole, like he ends up discovering a hole and with his tractor, and they end up finding the dead bodies, and they don't really discover who killed the woman, but everybody kind of feels like, or everybody knows that it was Lester Ballard. Just a very disturbing book, and Lester Ballard's not the only disturbing character in this book. There's this junkyard old man that lives in a junkyard with like a bunch of his daughters, and he ends up raping one of his daughters. Like, because his daughters were sleeping around with a bunch of young men, and he wanted it to stop because they were having babies left and right. He wanted his daughters to get married or have some type of future. And this old man, when he found one of his daughters in the field sleeping with some man, he tries to beat her, tries to beat the man. The man runs away, and then his daughter was naked, so the old man just rapes his own daughter. This book is there's a bunch of, I don't know what's going on in Tennessee. I had to do some research while I was reading this book. I didn't know that Tennessee had a high incest rate and that Florida had a high incest rate. And this old man just rapes his own daughter. This book is dark. It is dark. When you start reading it, you have to read it towards the end because you want to know what happens, how it ends. A lot of the people are they could have arrested Lester Ballard and stopped him from killing a bunch of people because he has to have mental problems. The character has to have mental problems. By the end, he brings himself to the hospital. He's like, I should be in the hospital. I should be where they put the crazy people because I've done a lot of bad things, and Lester Ballard did a lot of bad things. This story is creative, interesting. Cormac McCarthy is a great writer. He knows what he's doing. It's captivating. You want to know what's going to happen to Lester Ballard, and a lot of things happen to Lester Ballard. A lot of the people I don't know what's going on, but these people, some of them are smart, but some of them are really not smart. Incest, rape, murder, killing, and a bunch of dead bodies, and just the horrificness of the character of Lester Ballard. Just horrific. Oh my God. Well, let's talk about the analysis. This book, this book just ends in a very dark note. There's no happy ending. Lester gets away with all his bad things. The father who raped his kid, nothing happens to him. He just lives in a junkyard. They all end up leaving him by the end. When you look at the title of this book of Child of God, oh God. Child of God. This is a book. Oh my God. When you think about it, and all of the horrific things human beings have done, all of the nasty things that human beings have done, I don't know how you, man. It's a book that it shows you the worst parts of man. It shows you the worst parts of mankind, but it's still a great narrative. It still shows you the horrificness of these acts and lust of Lester Ballard, and what they can, the horrificness of what he did. It's unspeakable. Um, yeah, this book, there's no good thing about it. It's just something to read. It's just something to witness. And I mean, it's not far fetched. I mean, we've had things like Ted Bundy and Jack the Ripper in the United States. We've had serial killers that kill, rape, and eat their victims. Lester Ballard is nothing new under the sun. But this book, it's a great read, but at the same time, it is horrific. If you can't handle dark things, horrific things, this is not the book for you. But if you can, it is an interesting read, and it gives you a view of a dark man, I mean, that's all I have to say about this book. I mean, I could talk more about it, but it's just disturbing. At this point, I don't know what else to add to it. That's just my summary of it. That's all. Those are my views on it. And God, Lester Ballard. So yeah, please leave a summary. Wow, I mean, honestly, leave a summary, because this wow. Yeah, guys, please leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video. This book was something. I'll see you guys in my next video.